Thanks for tagging me in this, Tiffany. So my name's Melissa. I'm a homeschool veteran and homeschool coach. And for kindergarten, I really like to invest in supplies and activities that you can do that are very hands-on and get the whole body moving versus investing in like a set curriculum. So my very favorite purchase for kindergarten, first grade, even into second grade are those foam letter tiles. They're foam tiles that interlock and you can put them on the floor, and they have letters and they often have your numbers, and they are a lot of fun. I use those all the time with my littles. Have them learn their letter names and their letter sounds, and then they can get their whole body involved. We lay those tiles out on the floor and they can jump to each letter as they sing their ABCs, and then they can jump to different letters and say their name, or they can say their sound. There's tons of variations. You can have them like double jump on the vowels, or hit the letters. Like, there's so much that you can do with those letter tiles, and I'll put a picture on here so you can see what I'm talking about. But if you could only purchase one thing, I would suggest that would be it. Then there's your basic stuff, just art supplies, those big chunky crayons, markers. I don't have my kids do a lot of writing in kindergarten because their pudgy little hands aren't really developed enough, so they don't really write as well as they could or should, and it can be really frustrating for them. So I wait until their hands are more developed before I do writing. So I do a lot of hands-on projects. I like sand trays where they can trace with their finger the letters, they can make words, they can do all of that, so they get that practice, but they're not having to write. And then I also love Play-Doh and clay because they can form letters with that, and that's really fun. Now, this might be more of a preschool thing. It kind of depends on where your kids are at. I don't do preschool, so I start in kindergarten. So I like to do a letter book where I get basically a large scrapbook with really thick paper, and we do a letter a day, and we have just a ton of art supplies with it. Glitter and markers and glitter glue and crazy fun stuff. And I get magazines or some books, maybe secondhand, that you feel comfortable cutting stuff up with. And they do a letter a day, and we practice the letter name and we practice the letter sound, and then they get to decorate it however they want. And it can be messy and it doesn't look perfect, and it's wonderful. So for that, just all the art supplies you can possibly think of. Stickers are a big one. Man, kids love to put those stickers in those books. So stickers and a big scrapbook, thick pages, is what you're looking for. Of course, I love those magnetic letter sets that people put on their fridge. I used to see them all the time when I was a kid, but I rarely ever see them anymore. But they have really fun ones that you can get and use them either on your fridge, or you can get a magnetic board so they can be used at the table, and kids can use those to practice their letters and their sounds and even put words together without having to write them. So that's a great purchase. And then I am a fan of flashcards. I always have a nice set. Like I purchase nice flashcards that are very engaging and very visually stimulating for the kids. And in kindergarten, I like to have my letters. I like to have numbers. I like to have shapes and colors. And then also you can even get some really basic addition, subtraction ones that, really show it in pictures. So it's not just the boring letters or numbers, and those are really great to have. I always have a good set of flashcards on hand. So hopefully that helps you out. Kindergarten is so fun to teach, so congratulations. And just go to town and get as many activities as you possibly can. I wouldn't spend a lot of money on things like workbooks and curriculum, just lots and lots of learning through activities.